There you go. Ready to rock. All right. So, hello, everybody. I'm Mike Mondo. I'm here with Lewiston Fire. I'm doing the paperwork, but we're here for the Trinity County Fire Safe Council meeting. Let's knock out some introductions and plan that. That's for March.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, hey there.
Hello. This is Skylar Fisher with the Trinity County RCD and the Fire Safe Council.
Sorry. Carol Hall with Trinity Center Volunteer Fire Department.
Kelly Shane, Executive Director for the Trinity County Resource Conservation District.
Bill Cox, Board of Supervisors.
Elliot Grew, U.S. Forest Service Fuels, South Fork Management Unit.
Adam Kohler, also Fuels, South Fork Management Unit, the new Fuels Battalion down there.
Cool.
Sunny Denali with Trinity County OES. Emily Acer, Project Coordinator for the RCD.
All right. Start up in the upper left. Angel there.
Hi, Angel Chapel, Assistant Planner at Trinity County.
Cool.
We got Sue Lutweiler.
That's a good pronunciation. Pretty good. I'm just with the real estate industry here in Trinity County.
Awesome. Awesome. Got Chris Cole.
Hello, I am Chris Cole, the District Conservationist for Trinity County Natural Resource Conservation Service.
Jerry Cousins.
Hi, everybody. Jerry Cousins with the Trinity County Collaborative.
Opens. Michael Allen.
Michael Allen with the Reading BLM office.
So, Waylon Bernston.
Hey everybody, Quaylen with the Watershed Research and Training Center, Prescribed Fire Program, and also Assistant Chief for High and Palm PFD.
Gina Moon.
Hello, with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council and Ambassador for Salyer area.
Awesome. And Dina. Maybe.
Dina Magdaleno. I'm with the Sonongway Council.
Okay. And Sophia.
Sophia Sadie here with the Forestry and Fuels Program at the Watershed Center.
So what is that last one?
June?
June? Maybe. Is that June Little Raven? Who knows? Maybe.
Hi, this is Jen. I'm calling in from my phone. I'm with the Fire Safe Council and Project Coordinator. I'm just popping in. I won't be able to stay the whole time.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. That's out of the way. We got any additions or changes to the agenda? Early departure project updates?
I need to leave by 2:20.
Copy. We'll try to get everything out of here by 2:20.
I was just going to say, yeah, we have to leave early. So
Awesome. Awesome. All right.
This is Jerry. I have to leave shortly after 2 o'clock.
Copy that. Thanks, Jerry. Cool. That said, we'll get on to discussions. Hey, 2025 CAL FIRE Coordinator Grant Program Extensions.
Yes, I can speak to this one. So to start off with a little bit of context, over the past few years, the RCD has used the California Fire Safe Council and CAL FIRE County Coordinator Program funding to help increase the capacity of the County Fire Safe Council. And so we first applied for that funding in 21-22. And we are currently on our third agreement with the California Fire Safe Council, who administers these CAL FIRE dollars for County Fire Safe Council coordination. And so our current funding expires in July of this year, but we were contacted last week by the California Fire Safe Council with a notice of an extension of funding with additional dollars to support these coordination efforts. And since the beginning, since the first round of funding, the program's mission has stayed essentially the same, but there's been a little bit more structure, and specifically like between CAL FIRE and the California Fire Safe Council, there's been more direction to county coordinators to ensure alignment with their like statewide goals for wildfire resilience and structure protection. And so I wanted to share some of these new program deliverables that the California Fire Safe Council has given to us. Hi, Pat. Because in the last round of funding, there were about 6 deliverables that were essentially built into our grant. Like, for example, staff attending a CAL FIRE qualified entities training, providing a presentation to the County Board of Supervisors on the grant program. Whereas this time there are again 6 main categories of deliverables, but they've broken down each into like essentially 4 subcategories with the request that each county coordinator team have a minimum of 8 of their like requested deliverables. There are some that are required, like such as like work with CAL FIRE and make sure like your planning is cohesive. But there's a bit of a tight turnaround on the extension, so it's mid-April. And I thought that the timing was perfect for our upcoming Fire Safe Council meeting to share some of these deliverables with the group and ask if there are specific things that partners, members of the Fire Safe Council are interested in our county coordinator team to prioritize over the next year. Because we'll have the extension should go into effect by July and then of this year, and will essentially fund us through October 2027. So these are really going to focus us for the next year, essentially. So we're hoping, like, we're still going to be continuing with some of our existing programming, like, you know, these monthly meetings, Firewise community coordination, those things. But if there are other things you think we should focus on over the next year, please let us know. And if anyone has reviewed the deliverables ahead of time and has things they want to say right now, I will take note, but also like feel free to reach out to me within the next week or two, and I'll definitely consider that.
So do you know which 8 options you're tending to pick yet?
No.
No, okay.
I have no preference so far. There's so much alignment with what we're already doing.
Yeah, when Skylar and I were reviewing it, we were like, oh, we do that. Oh, we do that. Oh, we do that.
Okay, cool. Wow.
Has anyone already gone over that or have anything that they want to speak to on it? No? Nope.
This might be a time for me to put my California Fire Safe Council board member hat on. So on the 24th, there was a hearing in front of the Senate Natural Resources Committee for the new bill 973 or whatever it is. That is the bill that will kind of codify the budgeting as a line item, county coordinators through the California Fire Safe Council. There were no questions, no comments, approved unanimously by that committee. In a couple of weeks, it will go before the Senate Emergency Management Systems or Services Committee, and expecting a similar kind of endorsement and approval there. And then that would move it to the floor of the state Senate for approval. Doesn't hurt that the chairman of the committee on last Tuesday is one of the authors of the bill, and the chairman of the committee that it goes to in 2 weeks is the co-author of the bill. So it looks really good. This just kind of codifies the process of the CAL FIRE having a line item every year or every other year for 2 years worth of money. You know, but it doesn't have any money in it this year because we're funded through 2027.
And so that wouldn't even have money in it going forward. It says it's going to be a line item that will be considered
Every year, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So moving forward, we've got grants. Anybody? Grant updates or?
The notice just came out from CAL FIRE that the VFA grants are now open and they're due May 15th, I think. So that's what funds stuff for the volunteer fire departments.
That's the 15th of May.
I think it's May 15th. So it's VFA, Volunteer Fire Assistance Program.
I don't know if we have any of those going, but if we do, I will.
We've gotten
Folks.
We've gotten PPE training, the training shelters for wildland fire. We've gotten stuff for our fire engine, the brush rigs. Yeah.
Well, moving forward, project updates. BLM updates?
Do you mind if I slide in there real quick?
No, go for it.
A super long update this month, just that we have quite a few events in store for spring. The most upcoming is our Burnt Ranch Emergency Preparedness event, which is going to be March 30th at the Burnt Ranch Elementary School. We're pretty excited for that, and thank you so much to our partners who are going to be attending. This has really been led by our Burnt Ranch Firewise community, and so that's been really exciting to see an event that we've almost had a light touch with because they've been doing a lot of the partner outreach, been doing a lot of the prep. From the start, they said, these are all the things we want you to bring. And I'm like, okay, great, we can do that. And so that's going to be 6 o'clock at the Burnt Ranch School in the gymnasium. And then on April 7th, we're going to be having a jam-packed day. We're going to have some grant specialists from the California Fire Safe Council coming to Weaverville. In the morning, we're going to start with a presentation to the Board of Supervisors regarding the County Coordinator Program and how it impacts Trinity County. Then we're going to be going into the Weaverville Community Forest and talking about the historic partnership of the WCF and the Fire Safe Council, and then also providing some history at this office of the partnership between the RCD and the Fire Safe Council. And at the end of the day, open to the public, is going to be at 5:30 at Moon House, an evacuation board game night. So it's pretty cool. We're going to have educational board games at the local game store at Moon House. And then on April 11th, we're going to be having another neighborhood ambassador pile building and potentially burning, considering what the conditions are going to look like come April. Our fingers are crossed at the chance of precipitation next week, but if conditions are not favorable, we're just going to put everyone to work for piling and then burn in the fall. And those are the big things coming up. A lot of planning for the Firewise Fair in May. We're pretty excited about that. May 2nd at the Hayfork Park again this year. It's going to be 11 o'clock to 3 p.m. And we're going to be having tacos again, touch a truck. We're working with the Watershed Center to have like a shaded documentary viewing area. So if folks are trying to cool down, they can watch this documentary they have on like fuels and fire and projects that they've implemented. If there's any videos that your organization has made that you would like us to put in the cycle, let us know. And otherwise, a lot of partnership tabling with the Plant and Seed Exchange. Lewiston has their fire prep day coming up in May as well. So yeah, we're pretty excited. Full steam ahead in outreach for the spring.
Nice work.
Brad.
That's a lot.
It doesn't feel like it when it's so fun to be fire safe. Oh, and I do have to add, we were out on South Fork Road last weekend with Gina, who led a wonderful neighborhood ambassador event. We had about 9 people there. And I think I said in the last meeting, we couldn't call ourselves the Broom Busters because Broom Busters was copyrighted. So we were the Broom Battalion and we doomed the broom. We eliminated a lot of Scotch and French brooms.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you, Gina, for organizing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Super rad. All right.
I'm so sorry. I have one more thing. I have to turn over to Emily because
I would give it during my update, but that's fine.
no, please.
Okay, cool. At the end of last year, we all had decided that it would be awesome to highlight projects going on throughout the county by the different agencies and organizations. We originally set the goal to every month and have figured out that is very unrealistic for our partners because they are so busy. But so now we're thinking we're going to do it every quarter, and I have the first quarter one. So I have just a few draft copies. There's still a little bit of tidying up that needs to go on, but Watershed, Forest Service, and RCD have all submitted projects that have been completed or are upcoming. So completed 2025 or upcoming in 2026. That will go out into the Trinity Journal. We'll share it in the Fire Safe Council newsletter, and then it'll be shared on our socials. And this is for work happening in the High Palm area at this time. So the next one will probably, hopefully, be done in June, and it'll be, I think we decided North Lake area. I think what we're gonna do, since it's not gonna be an every month thing, we'll pick a different region each quarter of the county and do it that way. But yeah, it was awesome to get all the partners to get a really nice, so it's a 2-pager. Like I said, I have like 3-ish copies here. It wasn't, since it's just a draft right now, I didn't print out one for everyone or anything, but it's just if you want to read it or review it, that'll go out to the Trinity Journal here in the next couple weeks. So it was pretty cool to read through it and see what all we've been accomplishing.
Nice.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. Do it. All right. Well, then now we're guys solid. We're solid. Moving forward, we got a BLM update.
Yeah, I have updates for the BLM. So we're currently in the year 3 of the Weaverville Community Protection Project. So that's mostly in the Weaverville Community Forest. They should be done by Friday, tomorrow, of 124 acres of hand cut and pile. Everything's looking good there. You could probably notice it around Little Browns Creek and 299, those areas. So it's kind of checkerboard through the community of Weaverville, but all very good work. We do have that on contract for another year for 125 acres of maintenance, essentially. So all the areas they've been treating the last 3 years, we have them on contract, funded, paid for to go back in and treat what needs to be treated next year, late next year, to just keep that thing maintained. So hopefully by next winter, we'll be burning those piles. We do have a low pile count this year, so I don't foresee any problems, only weather and see what we can do there. Also still working very closely with Shay at the Watershed, getting the NEPA compliance done in the Hayfork area. So all those parcels around Hayfork that are BLM, getting those NEPA ready to start doing some fuels work there. It's a longer process, but I think in the long run it will be good. Also, with a longer process, the NEPA in the Helena Junction City area. So we're partnering up somewhat with the Forest Service. They asked us to do some NEPA on a couple of parcels. We've expanded that to basically the east side of the river of Junction City, Helena area. All those ridge lines that have been basically treated because of fires before. We're going to open those up and maintain them so that they're always basically ready, instead of just putting dozers in there when a fire is threatening. So, and there will be a large timber component to that. I don't have an accurate acreage right now just because of the process of NEPA. It is a northern spotted owl area, so those surveys take 2 years. So we're past the first year, so we have less than a year less of those surveys, and I need to get those done before I can do anything. Also, I've gotten a few calls from the community of Junction City, wanting to incorporate some more area along Sky Ranch. I think we can do it. There is some question of the large population of Scotch broom in that area. And that one can be a little tricky because of if you cut it, pile it, and burn it, it just comes back twice as thick, twice as fast. So the best way to treat it is through herbicide, but I think for a while, my understanding is that Trinity County banned any herbicide use in Trinity County. That since has passed, so I technically can use herbicide, but from what I understand, the community doesn't like it. So we're researching some workarounds, trying to find the best way to get rid of that to make everyone happy. So we're working on a plan. Like I said, it's still like a year out before we can have the NEPA completed, so we have some time to work with it. Also, I'm collaborating with the watershed on that one. They're interested in helping us out, and we're more than welcome for the help. So we're working towards that, and then also I've gotten calls from the community of Poker Bar. So I'm trying to tackle those problems. We do have a maintenance treatment for Lewiston, Poker Bar being part of that, but it's limiting because of the NEPA. But we're going to go back in there and retreat what we've retreated before. There is a working NEPA getting real close to treat the Poker Bar Road along with Steel Bridge. And it's going to be like a timber harvest, which is the best way to handle that situation there. If to get those dead trees and just get it all out there, not just cutting them down, piling what we can pile and then burning it. The majority of the fuel, the large rounds would still be there. So the best option is to basically harvest that and get it 100% out of there. So that's the plan with that. It's very well into the process. We're hoping for some results and everything like that. So that's what we're doing. If you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
This is Jerry. I have a comment, Michael. I just wanted to thank you for your sensitivity about herbicides that the community is not in favor of. So thanks for realizing that and looking for workarounds.
Yeah, no problem. The community doesn't like it. I think technically I could, but that's not going to make them happy, and that's not what I'm trying to do. We're looking to just pull the Scotch broom out and maybe a iron curtain or burn curtain where we could burn it on site and get rid of it the best way. So we're doing some workarounds.
Yeah, well, thanks for that.
Hey, Michael, are you in your office this afternoon? I have an issue that's related to the community forest that I'd like to talk to you specifically about, if possible.
Yes, I am available up to about 4 o'clock today for a phone call, so no worries there.
Great, I'll give you a call. Thank you.
No worries.
And then, Michael, I just would provide feedback. I've had community members reach out. They are so pleased and impressed. I mean, obviously that work there on 299 is really visible and people are just really, really loving that. So thanks.
No problem. That's my job. I'm trying to do the best I can, juggling a lot of hoops just like everybody else, but we're still actively in Trinity County, so that's what we're there for.
Thank you.
Awesome. Nobody has anything else. And before we got CAL FIRE, we don't have any CAL FIRE today, any Caltrans today.
Nope.
Flora?
Nope.
Nobody. I am Palm Fire Safe Council.
Coylin, we're gonna send you the press release for the High Palm area to see if you wanted to plug anything for the High Palm Fire Safe Council.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Cool. We've got nothing from Lewiston, so we can move
Do
on.
you know what you guys are calling your fire day that's happening in May?
I honestly had not even heard of the fire day.
Great, okay.
Mentioned this. Okay.
So think that maybe Chuck's pulling my leg or something, because I seem to be the only one that knows about it.
I'll talk to the chief. Update
Great,
is I will talk to the chief about that and see what's going on, because I had not heard of that at all. News to me. I'll do my best to be there and be an active part of it.
Great.
Moving forward, Natural Resources Conservation Services.
So, the updates for the group, I'd say we, at least in Trinity, we have 10 contracts that we're waiting to see if they're going to be funded. Some of them are pretty large, like a couple hundred acres in Kitten Palm, got some stuff in Hyam Palm, some stuff in Coffee Creek. So pretty dispersed throughout the county. But at this point, for our systems, we're essentially just waiting to see if they'll get selected for funding, and hopefully they will, and that'll be more money getting spent, more good work getting done in the county. But that's it for NRCS. Thanks.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Norel Muck, Wintu? Anybody? Not this week, no. North Coast Unified Air Quality Management? No. Safe Alternatives for Forest Environment? Anybody? No. SBI? Anybody from the SBI? We're moving right through it. This Southern Trinity Fire Safe Council? Nobody. All right. Board of Supervisors?
Oh, probably Sunny's going to touch on it, but the only thing that I would have is just the encouragement to refresh your information in our not Code Red anymore.
Ready
but now,
Trinity.
yes, Ready Trinity, and that needs to. If you can refresh that every year, it's helpful. Were you going to give some more information on that? I'll let you do it. Nothing further.
Awesome. That was first collaborative. PC collaborative.
Two items. One of the hallmark projects that the collaborative has worked on for years is getting shaded fuel breaks along all of the road systems in the county, both for evacuation purposes and safe access for first responders, firefighters. And we now have work being done on Rainier Road where there are fuel breaks, but now we're realizing that there's a discrepancy about what people think a fuel break is. And so there's a field trip on the 17th up there with Forest Service and collaborative members and anyone else who wants to be part of that conversation to really tease out the definition of those words. What is a fuel break? And seeing if we can come to a consensus. So I offer you that as should be an interesting conversation. The other thing,
Sorry to interrupt, Jay.
Yeah.
Is that the 17th of April?
April, yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. The other thing is wildfire cameras, special use permits for the two remaining ones, Ironside Mountain and Bonanza King, are now being done in the Weaverville office, which is nice to have it local, and we have a phone number of who is doing that. However, the bad news is that it seems that the funding we were expecting for both of those cameras has disappeared. PG&E has no camera funds in their budget for this year, and we're still trying to track down Alert California, who probably a year and a half ago promised support for the camera on Bonanza King. So we're struggling with funding, and we'll continue to dog that. And that's it.
Awesome. Oh, thank you for that, Jerry. Move on to Sunny. Oh, yes.
So as Joe mentioned, we're doing a big push for Ready Trinity. As most of you know, we started that about a year ago. We switched from Code Red, and we would like to ask everybody to, in their respective organizations, to help get the word out about registering for Ready Trinity. We are trying to get as many people to sign up for that organically. The Code Red data did go into that platform, but we are trying to get people to sign up organically to that program. So we'll be doing some project outreach with RCD, and on our website at the very bottom, there's a link that says partner with us. So if you're looking for any material to share out yourselves, there's information there. And of course, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help you find any information also. So working on updating the emergency operations plan. OES is actively working on a plan for the 3 emergency sirens that were put up throughout the county in the last year or so. And then we're working on emergency operations center training for county employees that are likely to work in the emergency operations center during an emergency. And following that, we'll be doing shelter training with HHS staff. Yeah.
So, are you considering an ad or something in the wildfire, living with wildfire insert that the Trinity Journal does every year for the
Ready Trinity?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of it, but I will ask them. Yeah, that's a great idea.
What exactly do you mean by working out a plan for the emergency sirens?
So we wanted to make sure, working with the sheriff's office, knowing exactly when we're going to use those, what exactly we're going to use them for, and who's going to push that button, those kind of details working out before we start testing.
And so timing wise, are we going to get that before wildfire season really cranks up?
I'm hoping so.
Hoping, okay.
We had a meeting with the sheriff's office a couple weeks ago. I have completed a draft plan, and it is now on the director of OES's desk. So,
Okay.
But she's been out of the office for a few weeks,
So yeah, I mean, just let us know when you want to test them so we can warn people. Why is that siren going off?
Exactly. Yeah, we will make sure and tell you before we do that. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And Liz is still acting as the OES director.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, do you have those mailers that you sent out were really nice? Do you have extras of those?
I don't. We had an external company do the printing and mailing, so we printed exactly as many as we needed.
Well, just because that was really well done. Better than the ones before that said sign up for Ready Trinity and you had no clue what it was. Just because those got mailed to people's like residents, but we're getting this onslaught, June and July of people who don't live here. They just seasonally come up,
right? Yeah.
How do we get them to sign up? So I'll get with you on maybe some other kind of handout then. That one was pretty spiffy, but if there's another option, that would be, because we definitely want to hand them out at all our events, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. Thank you, Sonny. Got Trinity County Planning, anybody?
Yeah, Angel.
Angel, awesome.
Where'd you go?
I'm here. We don't really have much, like anything to report on. We're just coming in for informational purposes to be more involved and possibly like co-coordinate to have consistency in our general plan updates and other programs and policies that we're responsible for enacting, especially as we adopt these plans in the future. So we're just trying to get ahead of the ball and information gather rather than trying to scramble later on.
Cool.
Well, thank you for being here and doing that. All right, get the Resource Conservation District.
Or that's me. I've been kind of out of the loop a lot, but I know that we've been working down in Junction City Park. Crews are pretty much all fully staffed at this point. We've added an additional crew this year, so we're up to 5 4-person crews. The fifth crew is a dragging crew, so we're trying to increase efficiency. I know that we are also working currently, I guess, at Hopewell Dump.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I went to drop off my trash and I was like, whoa. And the dump attendant was like, this looks great. She actually feels so much safer.
Oh, good.
Which is, thank you.
Yeah, I think they were up to 9 acres treated roughly on Tuesday, but I think that they're shooting for something like 13 or 15 acres or something like that, for that. So I'm glad to hear that. I also heard from Bonnie that things were looking great out there. So that was always good news to hear that from the locals. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Again, I'm just kind of more recently back in the saddle.
Collaborative meeting, I think somebody mentioned closer and closer on McConnell on the.
Oh yeah, McConnell. Okay, yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. Apparently there's been continued issues with insurance, not only with, the McConnell's requirements for insurance have been very steep. And we even just heard back from Vestra, who's doing a lot of our environmental compliance and survey monitoring, that even the work that, or the coverage that they thought they had in hand that was ready to go is not quite there yet either. So they're being sticklers about getting that all together before we get going. But we did have a meeting with the Summit, the contractor, and they are apparently actively looking to rent a house in town. So they're ready. They said they'll be ready to go within 2 weeks. We're hoping, with our fingers crossed, that that we'll actually have all of our paperwork in order by that time, and we can actually get started, early in March. So, and that'll be a fairly, or April, early in April. Thank you. So that's kind of where that particular project stands. And that project, just as a reminder, is working with SPI. We have our right of entry for SPI, which is about 1,800 acres of treatment, mastication. 2 masticators are going to be basically firing off on the ground that they can. And then we're working with somewhere close to 400 private landowners everywhere from Covington Mill all the way down into Timber Ridge. So it's a pretty extensive area, totaling out to about 4,100 acres that we anticipate getting accomplished with it. Well, the project wraps in July of next year. So we have about 15 months to get there. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, and I did want to mention, not to steal any thunder from the Watershed Center, but I did attend and a meeting of the first meeting of the Trinity Integrated Fire Management Partnership. That was largely focused on prescribed fire with pretty much all the agencies and entities that are involved in prescribed fire in Trinity County. It's like a group that's basically all about coordinating prescribed fire and the use of promoting the use of prescribed fire. I thought it was a very productive meeting, and I was glad to have been included in that. I had several staffers there, and I think we resolved to make that a quarterly group that will meet every 3 months to go over planning, tracking, all that kind of stuff, preparation for each of the seasons as we're getting closer, and coordinating resources. And I think it's going to be a good and useful group to further those efforts in the county. So I think I will leave it at that, unless there's anything else from our city staff.
Spring chipping.
We're gonna have an ad in the paper next week.
So do you know when you guys will be up doing the North Lake, which week?
I have the dates. I can give them to you after this meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
North Lake, I think first week of June.
I would believe that. We usually try to put North Lake at the end just in case there's snow. So it's the same schedule as last year. Yeah.
Cool.
I think starting downriver, coming up into Middle Trinity, and then up North Lake.
Good. We got a big pile.
Nice. Chip, chip, hooray.
It's getting bigger.
I will mention one thing, one other project that's taking up a fair bit of our forest health bandwidth is the Weaverville Field Break project is making progress. We're working more directly with the Forest Service. We have Stephanie Reese, who used to be the environmental compliance planner for the forest, that has retired and is working working as our ID team lead for that project. I think there was a meeting earlier today. They're trying to finalize the footprint. We're using an authority that will basically be something to the tune of about 2,800 acres in and around the basin. There is a green timber component on that. We will be working with both the Weaverville Community Forest Steering Committee and the collaborative group on making sure that the prescriptions that we're using are following the guidance for federal land management. And yeah, I think we've got the pill is essentially drafted and nearly complete. And we're getting kind of all of our ducks in a row paperwork wise. And then I think at that point, I think we have also NSO surveys have already started on that. We have to have two, as it was mentioned earlier, we have to have 2 years of NSO surveys. So we're doing this season. We anticipate, and then next season, which is basically the March to June window. And we should be wrapping up the draft on that, we would hope, by roughly June, July next year. So that's the goal on that project. And we're also sort of simultaneously doing some efforts for what we haven't completely named yet, but what we've been calling the Trinity Alps Access Roads project that's up in the North Lake area. Since we have early access this year and not as much snow as normal, I think we're going to be doing hooting up there this year also, so that we can basically be ahead of the curve on that for this year and next year. And then basically we anticipate that one being in its draft form going to the forest for review by mid 28. So those two projects are moving along. So I'll leave it at that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for all of the work. There's a lot of coordinating.
And you have a new forestry manager.
Yes, actually we do. We have a program manager, Evan Gary, who is taking on the forestry sort of sub-program in forest health. And he's been mostly tasked with basically running McConnell Foundation. And as far as the Weaverville Community Forest agreement with the BLM, we are anticipating that within the next month or two. At which point that will have been expanded out from the 3,300 acres of the Weaverville Community Forest to actually like the 64,000 acres of all the BLM within the Reading Field Office's purview in the middle portion of Trinity County, everywhere from Junction City to Hayfork all the way out to Lewiston, etc. So that's pretty exciting too. So stop me now, because I could probably continue. I could probably keep going because they just kind of like they start rolling in.
Why did you pick me?
Simba, what are you doing? What you doing?
Any updates from Trinity Center volunteer?
Just a couple. So we have a couple Firewise activities coming up in May. So May 3rd is our 5th or 6th annual plant and seed exchange, and we're doing a booth on Firewise landscaping. The fire department is. And then May 19th, as I was saying earlier, is our monthly family dinner night with all the schools and homeschool kids and all that, and we're doing evacuation board game night.
You say that the May 3rd was the Plan C exchange?
For Trinity Center. The one in Weaverville is on April 25th.
I don't know.
We just take whatever they have left over.
Nice.
We're not proud.
Awesome, thank you. Anybody from PUD? There, no. Snugway? Anyone?
Dina?
Gina?
Dina.
Yes.
Oh, Dina, sorry.
So I wanted to share with you that we received a grant from PG&E, the power line reduction, fuel reduction, and the project is going to be in our primary cultural district, and it's also going to involve several main power lines, and it's adjacent to Highway 299 and the South Fork Bridge. So it's a pretty complex area, and getting it cleaned up a little bit is something that we're looking forward to. We were trying to figure out how to do this, and the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council came out and did a site visit and gave us recommendations and helped us figure out how to apply for the funds. So we're really excited to see the project completed, and it's going to be done in advance of, we're in the middle of an archaeological mapping of our village. And so the fuels reduction will make it possible for us to get some better views of the site below the surface. So there's a lot going on in the very near future. And we really appreciate the help from the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council.
That's right.
Congrats.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, you see cooperative extension?
No.
Shasta Trinity National Forest.
So I'll take a quick moment to reintroduce myself. Adam Kohler again. I have been in Junction City for quite some time now. I was the engine captain there for 7 years, getting to see some of the good work done at the Junction City Park. Also a Grange member, and we were pretty good about poking some of the larger entities to get some work done in that area. I've recently taken a job in Hayfork, but I didn't want to lose my connection to Junction City, so I joined the volunteers. So
thank you.
Sticking with it. So I feel like I'm going to be a pretty good fit to show up to meetings here and have a rounded knowledge. I don't have much knowledge right now, so Elliot's going to give you the update on what we have been up to and what we're going to do on the South Fork side. But I do have a quick update from the Weaverville folks. At least they've got a lot of things going, and I don't want to speak to all the stuff they're doing, but this week they're going to be burning piles up Musser and East Weaver upcoming week in anticipation of the moisture.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, with the addition of Adam to our fuel shop over in Hayfork, it's going to be a huge energy boost to us. We've been needing that leadership in our shop since Keith was retired. For the folks of you that knew Keith, so we're really excited to have Adam here and working with Chris and I, the other fuels tech. So yeah. So what we've been up to for the last year. We've wrapped up our burn season in February, calling most of our burns out then. So we completed over the last fiscal year, well, actually calendar year, we completed a major project. It was a Trinity service contract, the Red Mountain area. That project was 913 acres. So we completed burning that through calendar year 25. And we got that wrapped up in December. So that was a huge accomplishment for us. Moving on, we also focused some burning in the Wildwood area. It's the what we call our Dubakella projects. It was an agreement we had with Watershed, and I believe they contracted out 91 acres out there, 5 units. And so we were able to go in and complete that and wrap that up in February. As everybody knows, I mean, this was a very dry winter, so you know, it was kind of difficult for us to try to get everything that we were aiming for, and especially before we ran into the NSO-LOP. So roughly we accomplished 1,000 acres this year of prescribed fire on the Hayfork and Yolo Boulevard districts. Also, so as far as projects, we had a service contract in the Lime Dyke. It's in the Lime Dyke area, and it's also in conjunction with the Weaverville Community Forest as well. The Lime Dyke contract, part of that was completed last year, totaling about 850 acres, and that was a mix of pile units and mastication, about 50-50 each. So that stretches from Lime Dyke Peak and all the way down through St. John's Road out to Iron Pond Road. You'll be able to see some of that work that was done. So, yep, our plan will be to add that into our pile burning for this next year. We're going to evaluate the mastication for broadcast if it needs it. So that was a major project that we had going on in our field shop last year. Upcoming projects that we do have, we've been working with the Watershed Center on some agreement work in the Stafford area. We're working on a field break maintenance over there, but we're also looking at connecting it up to the top of the ridge and out the 51 road, which is a point kind of out towards Wildwood, up on the ridge top there. There are established field breaks out there. So we're getting together with John Cluck and working on that right now, preliminary, and we should be getting started on that this year. Also, High Palm. Yes, so it's probably in that that letter that's going to be going out in the Trinity Journal. So we're going to be working out in High Palm this year, what we call force account. So it'll be our folks out there establishing control lines to build some broadcast units out there. And our plan is to broadcast burn out in the High Palm area this year. Preliminary, our Chief 3 was working also on a contract on seeing if we could put together a contract to treat roughly 200 acres on the lower portion closer to High and Palm in that project area. So some of that may be contract work as well. And so that's going to be High and Palm's going to be our big focus this summer. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Did you cover Ewing?
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I forgot Ewing as well. Okay, yeah. I spaced that off. Okay, so our broadcast burning for the year. We do have some that we're going to try to pull off this spring. We have Harrison Gulch. It's the Harrison Gulch Ranger Station's admin site, and that's 58 acres within that admin site. It's a very complex burn, a lot of infrastructure in there. With that, but that plan's ready. It's approved, good to go. We're just waiting for the right prescription for that. And also Ewing as well. We're currently trying to wrap up that burn plan. Right now, we're going to be working with Mike Allen at the Reading office, BLM, to kind of go over, because we're looking at some contingency lines that could be on their side. So we'll be reaching out to you, Mike, and we'll talk soon on that. But we're hoping to have that plan wrapped up here within the next
couple weeks, hopefully.
Couple of weeks, and have that. So we'll have those two projects for broadcast burning this spring. Yep, and then we'll be working on. We're still working on the High and Palm, and we're going to be out to the future. We're going to be looking at more of a programmatic broadcast burn plan where we're just adding units and projects as they come in, and getting a lot more aggressive with our broadcast burning on the Hayfork and Yolo side.
Awesome. Yeah. Quite a bit.
In the report.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any it's probably not your bailiwick, but any information on staffing in terms of engines and lookouts and all that?
Ish.
You do.
So as far as the Weaverville and Big Bar Ranger districts, most of their engines are going to be staffed 7-day a week, with a few exceptions. And then that all depends on this upcoming round of hiring, and who moves to different places. So as of now, things are looking pretty good with Weaverville and Big Bar. Hayfork and Yolobola is pretty much the same, with 3 engines staffed out of Harrison Gulch, and then the 2 engines out of Hayfork.
And any idea for like Mule Creek and Coffee Creek?
So yeah, Mule Creek and Coffee Creek. So that they're the Weaverville district, and they should be staffed out of there. Last I heard was 7 days a week, but things have changed a little bit since I've gone over to Hayfork.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
And then the lookouts shouldn't be an issue this year, with the exception of Ironside again.
Got it. Appreciate that.
I have a question on the work from Lime Dyke down to St. John's Road. Is that bump into the pilot project that's going on? And I think it's the number 10 road out of there.
Nah, Jerry, it's separate. It's separate. The pilot project's all on its own. That's the treatment along 10 road. And yeah, everything that we kind of were working on when you folks met Kathy and I out there last year or the year before.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wraps it up for you guys. Since we have a written report for Six Rivers.
Yes, Adam Kuntz, the fuels planner, wasn't able to attend today, but he sent over a written report. So we got from October 1st to present, there's been 106 acres of pile burning in the Lassix, Upper North Fork, and Mad Ridge fuel break. There's been planning for 15 to 20 acres of pile burning on Mad Ridge fuel break above the Ruth station. And next week, so March 30th to April 2nd, weather pending, there is collaborative work happening with the Watershed Center for the Mad Ridge fuel break and First 48, which is in Ruth project areas, the South Fork Mountain Vegetation Management project area. The NEPA specialist should be finishing that up soon. And then District FMO Tad Hare presented at the Southern Trinity VFB meeting last Friday. And District Fire staff hired a new heavy equipment operator and a swamper. And some previously vacant positions on engines have also been filled. Under report.
Nice.
Skylar, can you forward that report out? Did
Yeah.
you receive that email that it could be shared?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks.
Watershed.
Start us off and then pass it on to Quaylen. Happy to be partnering with so many great partners. Thanks to everyone for your partnerships and descriptions of the great work getting done in the past and the future. Besides everything that has been mentioned thus far, our forestry division director just got finished with a reforestation project in the Mad River Ranger District. We're planted 75,000 trees over 533 acres within the 2020 August complex footprint. And the crews will be on board. That was done with contract crews, and our forestry crews are starting April 1st, and we'll be heading out to do some stand exams on Six Rivers project areas, including First Roost. As far as fuels crews go, we're planning on having the crews starting up in April 6th. Botany crews will be out and about early due to the warm weather, so they're starting April, May. Wildlife crews have already started. They're working on lifting LOPs in the pilot project in Hayfork. Junction City planning is ongoing with the surveys are going to be kicking off April, May as the field season approaches. The Hayfork Cal VTP is in its final stages, which is very exciting and should be brought to the TCRCD board for signature in May, which is thrilling. And finally, we do have some hiring positions we still need to fill. For example, we have some archaeology technicians that we're looking to hire to help with our archaeology surveys and work with our new archaeology division. Please check out the website for details about that. watershedcenter.com. Over to you, Quaylen.
Hey, everybody. Hopefully my update will be relatively brief right here. We just this past month, we did have that Trinity Integrated Fire Management Partnership meeting that was touched on earlier. We had 19 different local partners that are interested in supporting prescribed fire around the county show up for that. And during our RT130, our annual refresher, we had 95 participants from 21 organizations renewing their certifications for wildland firefighter, and also had 27 new people go and get their basic wildland firefighter certifications. Up this coming spring, we're looking at broadcast units in Hyam Palm area, as well as Deer Lick Springs and Hayfork. And just keep your heads up on social media for the notifications for those. We do our best to get them out 2 to 3 days in advance, but sometimes our weather windows, as we know, are short and ever changing. So sometimes it is less notice than that, but we do the best we can. That's all I got in the report.
Right, thank you, Quinn. Got anybody from Weaverville? I don't see anybody now. Willow Creek Fire Safe Council?
Gina.
Hello.
Jen.
This is Jen, project coordinator for the Fire Safe Council. I'll pass it over to Gina when I get done with my project updates. We're continuing shaded fuel break work under the CWDG, Greater Willow Creek Wildfire Resilience Project. We're still working on shaded fuel break phase 2, which is just over 100 acres of treatment across 2 units, one over on Horse Linto, what we're calling Upper Patterson, and then about 49.5 acres over behind Highway 96 in Brandon Mountain in that area. We're also continuing with our address sign installation. We've got 83 up and 38 more to go. And then after that, we'll open it up to folks that haven't already signed up for the program. We're also moving forward with our Blue Dot program, making a map of emergency water resources for the Greater Willow Creek area. We have reached out to get some folks to be consultants, putting out a request for bids and talking about the project, figuring out what we can do together with a couple of different local businesses. And then we're also working under the Campbell Ridge project with Trinity County RCD and working on Trinity County properties specifically for under that grant. So doing manual fuels reduction work, basically that brushing treatment. And Sophia is from the Watershed Center is also being our grant coordinator on that. So just following up on some of the work that she's done previously in a couple of years ago under the I think it was a PG&E project grant. I'm still getting new to these things. And we're also going to do an invasive species Scotch broom removal event on April 11th. And so I will pass it on to Gina.
Yeah, good job, Jen. There is a lot going on. The community is recognizing the work that's being done, so that's always good feedback. Even when the original Barb Darst with the Fire Safe Council calls me up and says, "Are those our chainsaws up there running?" And it was. And so a lot of good things. Thank you, Jen. The invasive pull broom on the 11th for Patterson Road is going to be another good where people can see the difference. So something new, but we're experimenting with different ways of cutting it, pulling it, ways to dispose of it is a big consistent issue, it sounds like, with everyone. So that'll be something we're gonna have to figure out, because we have a lot of different broom pull ideas, and even an encroachment along the highway to pull some. So yeah, there's that. We are going to be involved at the Willow Creek Seed and Plant Exchange on 4/25, the exact same day as Weaverville. But it's after our broom pull. So we're going to be talking, it kind of recognizing it. I'm going to have a couple of bouquets picked and to freak people out, and just so people can become aware and help us pull it. Seems like a never-ending battle, but it's everywhere. We're going to have to figure out something, and not to use any herbicides, but just doing what we can. The other things we're involved with is I think I'll bump over to the ambassador program where we did pull some broom this last Saturday, and I want to thank Trinity County RCD crews for coming down, Skylar and Emily. We had 9 people, 2 dogs, and a couple horses, and we did pretty good. There's a few photos. I did try to share a post, and so it's like a start. People are becoming to be aware about what this broom really is, and we had a variety of brooms. So I only started last year. I am learning, and I'm sure there's a lot more to learn, which takes me to next Monday. We're going to try to attend as a Trinity County resident, myself, plus the council, to assist how we can, either helping with cleanup or during it. But I want to hear what the panel has to say, and I'm excited for Burnt Ranch and different downriver folks to attend this. There should be a lot going on with this emergency panel at the Burnt Ranch School this next Monday on the 30th. I was really hoping to hear more about the Big Ranch project. I'm not sure how much they'll share there, but I did see just today, and maybe someone can help me out, that the Big Ranch project is having a community kind of like to share information at the Burnt Ranch Guard Station on April 6th. Does anybody else see that? Is that true? Anyway, I mean, there's a lot going on. There's just springtime is here. We're expecting some rain, which we need. And the best little meeting of the month is always good. I want to thank everybody. Looking forward to that next Monday's meeting for quite a few different things. Ready Trinity, just so we can turn around and share this great information to our river communities. And that's it, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
So I have a question for Jen or Gina. So your Blue Dot program, we've had issues in the past where if you just hand out the blue dots, homeowners don't understand what truly is a firefighting resource, so they're putting them on their spigots and stuff. Do you have somebody that goes out and makes sure that it is like accessible to a fire truck,
Yes.
sufficient capacity and all that? You match it up?
Yes, so I'm the one that's going out and doing blue dot assessments essentially. And a lot of people have just like checked all the boxes on our landowner agreements and don't really understand their little 500-gallon water tank isn't what we're looking for.
Right.
People they want to make that available. So I am going out and doing on the ground assessments where I'm looking at, can a fire truck back up 7 to 10 feet and access this with a hose? That's definitely one of the big things that I'm looking at. And then also identifying, is this a water tank? Is this a seasonal pond that's, water is available year round? And is this a swimming pool? And those are the things that I'm identifying and explaining to people. We appreciate their generosity, but these are the things that we want to make available during an emergency. People are literally, like you're saying, just like, my spigot, yeah, turn on the water, use it if you need it. And that's not what we're looking for.
No, you guys are doing it the right way. That's great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Gina, to your question regarding the Big Ranch outreach, I've spoken a little bit with some folks with Shasta Trinity, and they said that they'll have a staff person who's familiar with the project to attend the meeting on the 30th. And then I also got the press release regarding the meeting specific to the Big Ranch project.
Okay.
I don't think that's a hoax because I saw it on social media and I got it in my inbox too.
Oh, good. I shared it.
Perfect.
If it's on Facebook, it's true.
Okay.
All righty. Well, we got the last one would be PG&E. They have no report. Contact Mike Minton with any questions. If you have any questions, PG&E?
Nope.
He's the man.
Why did they not give us any money for cameras? No.
Contact Mike Minton. Awesome. So future discussion items. Barring, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, anything else they got going?
No.
Nothing. Next meeting, April 23rd, 2026. I won't be here, so hopefully Skylar will direct the meeting, or
We'll find an alternative.
we'll find an
chair, yeah.
alternative chair. I'm taking a trip down to Monterey, go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium with my kid and
Cool.
doing the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. So we're gonna be out running amok for a few days to coincide with this. So that's it. Thank you everybody for being here and doing what you're doing. Really great work, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate being a part
Me
of
too.
it. So right on. Next
Okay.
month it is. Cheers, you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
See you then.
Yes, we're going to-